Yes. Ah, yes, students. Now let us come to the differences between parenchyma and collenchyma first. Differences between parenchyma and collenchyma. Differences between parenchyma and collenchyma. Here, cells are loosely arranged. Cells are loosely arranged. Here, cells are compactly arranged. Cells are compactly arranged. Number two, intercellular spaces are present. Intercellular spaces are absent. Next, cell wall is thin. Cell wall is thin. Cell wall is thick. Cell wall is thick. Then cell wall is uniformly thickened. Cell wall is uniformly thickened. Cell wall is unevenly thickened. Cell wall is unevenly thickened. Uniformly means thin only, but deposition of cellulose is uniformly entire cell wall. But here pectin will be there. Pectinization is more at corners or angles of the cells, unevenly thickened. Next one is there. It performs multiple functions. It performs multiple functions like food storage, buoyancy, exchange of gases, photosynthesis, etc. Photosynthesis, etc. But it gives mechanical support. It gives mechanical support and performs the function of photosynthesis when the cells contain chloroplast. When the cells contain chloroplast. So these are the differences between parenchyma and collenchyma. Cells are loosely arranged, compactly arranged. Intercellular space is present. Intercellular space is absent. Cell wall is thin. Cell wall is thick. Due to the deposition of cellulose, due to the deposition of pectin. Deposition of cellulose and the cell wall is uniformly. But here pectin deposition is unevenly thickened. It performs multiple functions: food storage, photosynthesis, buoyancy, exchange of gases, okay, and also photosynthesis. But it gives mechanical support and performs the function of photosynthesis when the cells contain chloroplast. Clear? So these are the differences between parenchyma and collenchyma. Next, let us look at the differences between collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Differences between collenchyma and sclerenchyma. One by one, we are going to discuss here. Listen. Number one, cells are living. This is the one. Cells are non-living. Cells are non-living. Next, it is a pectinized tissue. It is a pectinized tissue. It is a lignified tissue. It is a lignified tissue. Pectinized tissue is a lignified tissue. Cell wall is unevenly thickened. Cell wall is unevenly thickened. Cell wall is uniformly thickened. Uniformly thickened. Then center of the cell is activated by vacuole. Here the center of the cell is occupied by lumen or cell cavity. Lumen or cell cavity. Cells are living, cells are non-living. Pectinized tissue, lignified tissue. Cell wall is unevenly thickened, uniformly thickened. Center of the cell is occupied by vacuole. Center of the cell is occupied by the lumen. Then fifth difference is no cell types here. No cell types. Here it has the two cell types. Two cell types. You know that they are the fibers and scleroids. These are the two cell types. Such kind of the cell types are absent in parenchyma. You remember this. I think you are getting it. Next one is here the pits are absent. Here the pits are absent. Here the pits are present. Pits are present. So these are the differences between parenchyma and sclerenchyma. You remember this. So I repeat once again. Cells, parenchyma cells are living, sclerenchyma are the dead. Pectinized tissue, lignified tissue. Cell wall is unevenly thickened, uniformly thickened. Center of the cell is occupied by the vacuole. Center of the cell is occupied by the lumen or cell cavity. Here no cell types actually. Here two cell types are there. As we discussed, fibers and scleroids. Then here the pits are absent. Here the pits are present actually. Then it gives mechanical support and performs the function of photosynthesis when the cells contain chloroplast. Purely mechanical in function. So these are the differences between parenchyma, parenchyma and the sclerenchyma. Clear? With the differences, we have completed the simple permanent or homogeneous tissues. Clear now? Okay. Now let us come to the complex permanent tissues. Let us come to the complex permanent tissues. Complex permanent tissues. Listen, look at the board. The tissue which consists of more than one cell types differ in origin, structure and function, but working together as a unit. The tissue which consists of more than two types of cells differ in structure, origin and function, but working together as a unit. This is the unit of the complex permanent tissue. The tissue which consists of different types of cells with a different origin, structure and function, but working together as a unit is called complex permanent tissue. Also called as heterogeneous tissues. Also called as heterogeneous tissues. Also called as heterogeneous tissues. You remember this. Because cells with different types of origin, structure and function. That is why they are also called as heterogeneous tissues. Heterogeneous tissues. Clear? I think one more point you should remember. Complex permanent tissues are also called as vascular tissues, as in case of plants. As in case of plants, they are also called as vascular tissues, as in case of plants. Responsible for the conduction of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body, and conduction of food materials from leaves to the other parts of the plant body. That is why they are also called as vascular tissues. Clear? So, to repeat once again. The tissue which consists of different types of cells with different origin, structure and function, but working together as a unit. As I said, this is one unit. Here only you are finding the complex permanent tissues like xylem and phloem. Xylem cell types are bare, phloem cell types are bare, xylem function are bare, phloem function are bare, but both the tissues are working together as a unit. This is called complex permanent tissue. Since here the cells different types with different origin, structure and function, also called as heterogeneous tissues. Since they are responsible for the conduction of water and mineral salts and food materials, also called as vascular tissues. Clear? They are complex permanent tissues are of two types. Complex permanent tissues are of two types: xylem and phloem. So these are the two types. There are two types of complex permanent tissues: xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. Both the term xylem was coined by Navieri in 1958. The term phloem was also coined by Navieri in 1958. Remember this. Both the terms were coined by Nageli only. Clear? Okay. Now, let us consider. First, we'll go for the xylem. We'll go for the xylem. Xylem is a complex permanent tissue responsible for conduction of the water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. Hence, it is also called as water conducting tissue. Hence, it is also called as water conducting tissue. Water conducting tissue, also called as hydrome. Also called as hydrome. You remember this. Water conducting tissue, also called as hydrome. Since during secondary growth, majority of the cell types of the xylem are converted into wood. Since during secondary growth, majority of the cell types of the xylem are converted into wood. Hence, xylem is also called as wood. Xylem is also called as wood. I think you are getting that. So, xylem, the term xylem was first coined by Nageli. It is a complex permanent tissue responsible for the conduction of the water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. Hence, it is a water conducting tissue hydrome. At the time of the secondary growth, most of the cell types of the xylem, except some cell types, converted into wood. Hence, it is also called as wood. Listen, the first form xylem elements are called protoxylem. First form xylem elements are called protoxylem. Later form xylem elements are called metaxylem. Remember this. First form xylem is called protoxylem. Later form xylem is called metaxylem. In protoxylem, lumen is narrow. In metaxylem, lumen is wide. In protoxylem, lumen is narrow. Metaxylem, lumen is wide. Since it has the narrow lumen, protoxylem is the less efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. Since metaxylem has a wider lumen, more efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. In the roots, protoxylem always present towards the periphery, metaxylem towards the center. But in stems and leaves, protoxylem always towards the center, metaxylem towards the periphery. Yes, you cannot confuse. I'll repeat once again. What you are going to call the first form xylem elements? Protoxylem. What you are going to call the later form xylem elements? Metaxylem. Here the lumen is narrow. Here the lumen is wide. Since it has the narrow lumen, less efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. Since it has a wider lumen, more efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. I think these points are clear. In the roots, remember, protoxylem towards the periphery, metaxylem towards the center. Later vascular tissues are it. Again I am repeating actually. In the stems and leaves, metaxylem towards the periphery, protoxylem towards the center. These are the differences between protoxylem and metaxylem. Clear? Based on their origin, xylem is of two types. You remember this. Based on their origin, xylem is of two types. Primary xylem and secondary xylem. Primary xylem and secondary xylem. You remember this. Primary xylem derived from the procambium. You remember this. Primary xylem derived from the procambium of the apical nerve stem. Primary xylem derived from the procambium of the apical nerve stem. Primary xylem derived from procambium of apical nerve stem. Secondary xylem derived from vascular cambium of secondary nerve stems. Vascular cambium of secondary nerve stems. So these are the differences between primary xylem and primary xylem and secondary xylem. I think you are getting it. So this much you should remember. So complex permanent tissues are two types: xylem and phloem. The term xylem was first coined by Nagel. It is also water conducting tissue, hydrome or wood. I given the reasons actually. First formed xylem elements produce xylem. Later formed elements metaxylem. So many differences we discussed. Then based on their origin, xylem is known as primary xylem, derived from the procambium of the apical meristems. Secondary xylem, derived from the vascular cambium of the secondary meristems. Be careful. Simple ಆಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. But ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ confuse ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ mistake ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. You have to remember carefully. Primary xylem derived from the procambium of the apical meristems. Secondary xylem derived from the vascular cambium of the secondary meristems. This is the introduction of the xylem. Next we go for the cell types of the xylem. One by one we are going to discuss. Yes. Okay, next we'll go for the components of xylem. Also called cell types of xylem. Also called as elements of xylem. All are the same. Components, cell types, elements, all are the same. Being heterogeneous in nature, xylem has the four cell types. Xylem has the four cell types. They are brachiae, also called as vessels, xylem, also called as wood parenchyma, xylem, also called as wood parenchyma, xylem, also called as wood fibers, wood fibers. So these are the cell types or components of the cell. Brachia are vessels, xylem or wood parenchyma, xylem or wood fibers. Among the four cell types, xylem parenchyma is the living. Remaining three are the dead. You have to remember this. Among the four cell types, brachiates, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. Xylem parenchyma is only the living. Brachiates, vessels, and xylem fibers are the dead. You have to remember that also. Now I am going to take one by one. First, let us come to the brachiates. They are present in brachiates are present in pteridophytes. Gymnosperms. Brachiates are present in pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and primitive angiosperms. Tracheids are present in pteridophyte gymnosperms and primitive angiosperms. In pteridophytes and gymnosperms, tracheids are the main water conducting elements. Water conducting elements. Upwards, I will give the reason. So tracheids are present in pteridophyte gymnosperms and primitive angiosperms. Structurally, each tracheid is an elongated spindle shaped elongated spindle shaped with pointed ends See here, this is the pointed end actually. Elongated spindle shaped cells with pointed ends. Next, cellule is thick due to the deposition of lignin. Cellule is thick due to the deposition of lignin. Nothing but lignification. Next, lumen or cell cavity. Lumen or cell cavity is narrow. Lumen or cell cavity is narrow. This is the cell wall. And this is the lumen. Is narrow or we can slightly reduce. Lumen or cell cavity is narrow or reduced. Next one is cytoplasm is absent. Cytoplasm is absent. Hence they are dead at maturity. Hence they are dead at maturity. Got it? Already I told you this sentence is common for all the 6 cell types. Cytoplasm is absent, hence they are dead at maturity. Clear? I'll repeat once again. Tracheids are present in pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and primitive angiosperms. Elongated spindle-shaped cells with pointed ends. Cell wall is thick due to the deposition of lignin. Here the lumen or cell cavity is either reduced or narrow. Cytoplasm is absent, hence they are dead at maturity. Cytoplasm is absent, hence they are dead at maturity. Clear? Yes. Next, let us look at the types of tracheids. Based on lignification or deposition of lignin on the primary wall, tracheids are classified into 5 types. Based on lignification, tracheids are classified into 5 types. Annular tracheids, spiral tracheids, scalariform tracheids, reticulate tracheids, and pitted tracheids. These are the 5 types. ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟು ನೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ನೀವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು which is the annular, which is the spiral, which is the scalariform, which is the reticulate, and which is the pitted. Got it? Very simple. In the words itself, you are going to get the meaning of all the types actually. Listen. In the annular, here lignin is deposited in the form of annuli or rings. Annular tracheids. In the spiral, here lignin is deposited in the form of a continuous spiral or helix. This is called spiral tracheids. Lignin is deposited in the form of a continuous spiral or helix, spiral tracheids. Then the scalariform. Here lignin is deposited in the form of transverse bands. Which resembles the steps of ladder. Scalariform. Reticulate. Here lignin is deposited in the form of network. Is called reticulate. Then pitted. Here lignin is uniformly deposited at the primary wall, except small areas here and there. Such non-lignified areas are called pits. See, by seeing the pictures, you can recognize all the 5 types of the tracheids. I think it is very clear. Here, annular, spiral, scalariform, reticulate. Annular lignin is deposited in the form of rings or annuli. In the spiral, lignin is deposited in the form of a continuous spiral or helix. In the scalary form, lignin is deposited in the form of transverse bands which resembles the steps of ladder. Reticulate lignin is deposited in the form of network. Pitted ear lignin is uniformly deposited in the primary wall, except small areas here and there. Such non-lignified areas are called pits. So this is called pitted. Clear are all the 5 types of. Okay, now let us see the functions of the trinkets. Let us look at the functions of trinkets. Number one, as the walls are highly lignified, they provide mechanical support to the plant body. As the walls are identified, they provide mechanical support to the plant body. Then number two, they help in conduction of the water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. I think you're getting it. So these are the functions of the crickets. Clear? I think it is very clear. So this much you should do. Here the locational types you should concentrate. Oftenly asking these two questions from the crickets. Got it? What I'm telling you? Yes. Okay, we'll repeat once again. Crickets are present in pteridophyte gymnosperms and primitive angiosperms. Elongated spindle-shaped cells with pointed edges. Wall is big due to the deposition of lignin. Domain is highly reduced. Cytoplasm is absent and they are dead at maturity. Based on lignification, brackets are of 5 types. Annular in the form of rings, spiral in the form of helix, scalary form in the form of transverse bands, reticulate in the form of network, pitted uniformly on the primary wall, except small areas here and there. Such non-lignified areas are called pits. Functions, as their walls are highly lignified, provide mechanical support to the plant body, then help in conduction of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. This is the first cell types of the xylem. I think you're getting it. Next we'll go for the vessels. Yes. Next, let us move to the vessels. Let us move to the vessels. Vessels. These are also called as the trachea. Vessels are also called trachea. Vessels, they are present. They are present only in angiosperms. Present only in angiosperms. Absent in pteridophytes. Absent in pteridophytes, except Teres and gymnosperms. Except Newton. Have to remember this. Clear? Vessels are present only in angiosperms. Absent in pteridophytes except one pteridophyte, that is called Teres. Absent in gymnosperms except one gymnosperm, that is called negum. G-N-E-T-U-M. Negum. G is the silent here. Here the P is the silent. This is the pteridophyte, this is the gymnosperm. These two Lower vascular plates contain vessels. Except these two plates, vessels are completely absent in pteridophytes and gymnosperms. That is why in these two groups of plates, tracheids are the main water conducting elements. Tracheids are the main water conducting elements because of the absence of the vessels. You remember this? I think you are getting it. So this is the one. Then the second one is the vessels are elongated cylindrical cells and open at both ends. This is the vessel actually. They are elongated cylindrical cells. They are elongated cylindrical cells. Open at both the ends. Open at both the ends. Open at both the ends. Remember this. Elongated cylindrical cells are open at both the ends. Or you can say ends are transverse. But in tracheids, ends are pointed or tapered. Next one is here also cell wall is thick. Here also cell wall is thick. Cell wall is thick due to the deposition of the lignin. Cell wall is thick due to the deposition of lignin. Remember this. Okay, next. Here the lumen or cell cavity. Lumen or cell cavity is wide or broad. Lumen or cell cavity is wide or broad. Next. Here also cytoplasm is absent. Cytoplasm is absent. Hence they are dead at maturity. Hence they are dead at maturity. So these are the some of the characters. Got it, modern. Present only in changes forms. Absent in pteridophytes except Teres. Absent in gymnosperms except Nida. Elongated cylindrical cells are opened at both ends. Cell wall is thick due to the deposition of lignin. Here the lumen of cell cavity is broader and wide. Cytoplasm is absent, hence they are dead at maturity. Listen to me. Vessels are derived from a row of tracheids. Vessels are derived from a row of tracheids. Remember this. Vessels are derived from row of tracheids. During evolution, let us consider this is the trachea. ಇದನ್ನು trachea ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. During evolution, the tracheids become shorter and broader. During evolution, the tracheids become shorter and broader, and their end walls are disintegrate. And their end walls are disintegrate. And end walls are disintegrate. Now, ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ, it becomes a cylindrical structure. Got it? Like that, only vessels are formed in angios forms. Vessels are derived from a row of tracheids. Vessels are derived from a row of tracheids. During evolution, tracheids become shorter and broader, and their end walls are disintegrate. Hence, vessels are not single cells, but their row of tracheids are, we can say, multicellular. Hence, we can say vessels are not single cells; their row of tracheids are multicellular. You remember this. Next. Since vessels are derived from tracheids now and have got same thicknings as that of the tracheids, they are annular vessels, spiral vessels, scalariform vessels, reticulate vessels, and pitted vessels. These are also types of vessels. You remember this. Vessels are derived from row of tracheids. During evolution, tracheids become shorter and broader, and their end walls are disintegrate. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಗಡೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. Since vessels are derived from the tracheids now, they are not single cells; they are multicellular. As I said, since vessels are derived from tracheids and have got the same thicknings as that of the tracheids, and are classified into annular vessels. Here also same lignin is deposited in the form of rings or annular. But illenandre vessel irutte ashte. Alli trachea itte vessel irutte. Spiral in the form of continuous spiral or helix. Scalariform lignin is deposited in the form of transverse bands. Reticulate lignin is deposited in the form of network. Pittate, here lignin is uniformly deposited in the primary wall, except small areas here and there. Such non-lignified areas are called pits, meaning will be the same. That is should keep in mind. I think you are getting this. These are the characters of the vessels. Now, before going to, okay, let us see the first functions of vessels. What are the functions we have discussed under brackets now? Same functions of the vessels. Number one, as the walls are highly dignified, they give mechanical support to the plant body. This is the one. As the walls are highly dignified, they provide mechanical support to the plant body. As next in angiosperms, and some of the pteridophytes in gymnosperms help in conduction of water and mineral salts. Helps in conduction of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. Same functions only. Clear? Like brackets, as the walls are lignified, provide mechanical support to the plant body. Then help in conduction of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. Okay. Now let us see what are the differences between brackets and vessels. Differences between brackets and vessels. One by one we are going to discuss. Number one, they are unicellular. They are unicellular. They are multicellular. They are unicellular. They are multicellular. Next year, they are the spindle shaped. They are the spindle shaped. They are the cylindrical in shape. They are the cylindrical. Cylindrical. Lumen is narrow. Lumen is narrow. Lumen is broad. Lumen is broad. Since it has a narrow lumen, less efficient in conduction of water and mineral salts. Water and mineral salts. Since it has a wider lumen, it has a more efficient in conduction of water and mineral salts. ಯಾವ ತರ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ 1 ಇಂಚ್ ಪೈಪ್ 2 ಇಂಚ್ ಪೈಪ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ 1 ಇಂಚ್ ಪೈಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲುಮೆನ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಿನರಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ 2 ಇಂಚ್ ಪೈಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲುಮೆನ್ ವೈಡ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ since it has a narrow lumen less efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts since it has a wider lumen more efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts next brackets are present in pteridophytes and gymnosperms. Pteridophytes and gymnosperms. The vessels are present only in angiosperms. Present only in angiosperms, except teres in pteridophytes, neither in gymnosperms. So these are the differences between brackets and vessels. You remember this. I think you are getting it. So one more point. Brackets and vessels together called trachary elements. Brackets and vessels together called trachary elements. I think you are getting what I am telling you. Brackets and vessels together called trachary elements. Clear up? Okay, listen. I will repeat the differences. Number one, they are unicellular. They are multicellular. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ they are derived from row of brackets. Spindle shaped, cylindrical. This is the vessel. This is the trachea action. But it is spindle shaped. Vessel is cylindrical. Here lumen is narrow. Lumen is wide or broad, you can say that. Since it has a narrow lumen, less efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. Since it has a wider lumen, more efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. Present in pteridophyte gymnosperms and some of the primitive angiosperms. First formed angiosperms. These are present only in angiosperms, except one pteridophyte teres, one gymnosperm of neatum. Teres and neatum, remember that. These two contains both brackets and vessels. Clear? So this is the vessels. I'll repeat once again. So vessels are present only in angiosperms, absent in pteridophytes and gymnosperms. One point in that since pteridophytes and gymnosperms vascular cell types are not well developed now, they are also called as lower vascular plants. Pteridophytes are the primitive vascular terrestrial plants. You remember this. At the jotege, they also come under the lower vascular plants. As I said, because cell types of the xylem and phloem are not highly well developed. You remember that also. Elongated cylindrical cells opened at both the ends, or we can say transverse cells. That also you can do. Ends are pointed, ends are transverse. That also you can take the difference here. Cell wall is a common character. Cell wall is thick due to the deposition of lignin. Luminous cell cavity is wide. Cytoplasm is absent, hence the dead at maturity. Got it? Vessels are derived from row of brackets. During evolution, brackets become shorter and broader, and their end walls are disintegrated. Since vessels are derived, hence vessels are not single cells; they are row of brackets. Since vessels are derived from brackets now, got the same techniques as that of the brackets, and are classified into annular, spiral, spheriform, reticulate, and pitted. Then functions are the same. As their walls are highly lignified, provide mechanical support to the plant body, help in conduction of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant body. Then differences: unicellular, multicellular, spindle shaped to cylindrical, ends are pointed, ends are transverse. Lumen is narrow, lumen is wide. Less efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts, more efficient for conduction of water and mineral salts. Present in Dedophyte, gymnosperms, primitive angiosperms, only in angiosperms. Clear? So we have completed the two cell types. The rest of the two cell types and phloem. Take a small break. After the break, I will continue that. Thank you.